Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So today we get the game update for the week and it is Yama, combat achievements, and more. It is a big and more though. Okay, so let's go over some of these combat achievements quickly. So defeat Yama once. Okay, defeat Yama in an average time of under 338 over your last 4 kills. And then defeat Yama without attacking the judge with the wrong style and without taking more than 1 instance of damage each time he exiles you from the arena. So those are the elite tasks. Okay, so we're going over the master tasks now. So defeat Yama 50 times. Okay, the next one is defeat Yama in an average time of under 3 minutes over your last 4 kills. This one might be one of the weirdest ones I've ever seen. So defeat Yama without anybody healing, using anything other than plain pizza, and without anyone drinking any potions. Very odd task there. The next one is defeat Yama without getting hit by shadows, and without ever being more than 1 tile away from the center of his shadow crash attack. And the last master task here is defeat Yama without getting hit by fire, and having only killed void flares with special attacks. Okay, finally we've got the Grandmaster tasks. So defeat Yama in an average time of under 2 minutes and 34 seconds over your last 4 kills. Defeat Yama whilst completing Shadow Dancer, Firefighter, and Be Back Soon, and without taking any other avoidable damage. So yeah, these ones where they're putting a bunch of the combat achievements together can be very difficult sometimes. And then we've got defeat Yama under the conditions of one of his advanced contracts. Okay, that's cool that one of the contracts is actually in the combat achievements. Okay, I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff for now and head right over to the Grand Exchange tax. This is something that I did not expect at all. So as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a healthy in-game economy, we're making a change to the Grand Exchange tax rate. We understand that any update involving your hard-earned gold can be sensitive, so we want to be fully transparent about the reason behind this change and how it will affect your gameplay. So this is something like crazy. It's going to be going up, I believe, from 1% to 2%, and I kind of can't wait to see how some items might be affected. People are going to freak out about this. So why change the Grand Exchange tax rate? So the amount of GP entering the game has steadily increased over the years, but our systems for removing that GP, known as money sinks, haven't kept pace. They've definitely done a lot more than they did in the past with the pre-EOC. It was very, very bad back then with certain items and just so much gold being into the game. And eventually that's why Runescape 3 released inventions to kind of get rid of a bunch of items that way. But I think the Grand Exchange tax has done a wonderful job with old school Runescape. So a change like increasing the Grand Exchange tax is a meaningful step towards restoring economic balance, helping to curb inflation, and preserve the value of your wealth. Yeah, it's very well said, preserve the value of your wealth, so that your items and your gold actually still kind of mean something, you know, over the years as more enters the game. So the goal here isn't to punish trade, but to ensure that old school RuneScape continues to have a vibrant and sustainable economy for years to come. Increasing the Grand Exchange tax is one of the most effective ways we can do that. Now, I know there's going to be people complaining, saying, we'll just trade other players then. No, you won't. Like, it's going to take so much longer to do that. Maybe with high value items, they will do that to kind of avoid the taxes with that. But for your everyday, like buying some U-Logs, doing this, doing that, it's still going to be the 2% tax, which is obviously good for the game, right? I guess it's easy to say when you are an Iron Man. Okay, so here's what's actually changing. So the Grand Exchange tax rate will rise from 1% to 2%. So Items under 50 GP will not be taxed since 2% of those values round down to less than 1 coin. Tax cap of 5 million coins remains in place for the high value trades as it did before. I still think some people will do trading like with each other rather than paying that 5 million GP though. But it is good that they didn't increase that farther, you know what I mean? But I guess if you have that much money, 5 mil is not a big deal to you anyways. So existing offers at the time of the update will remain taxed at 1% or not taxed at all, ensuring fairness for trades made under the old rules. So only newly created offers after the update goes live will see the new 2% rate. So improvements to item syncs. Alongside the tax rate change, we've also taken the chance to give the item sync system a bit of cleanup. So in case you're not familiar, when you buy or sell items on the Grand Exchange, most of the tax you pay gets deleted straight out of the game, helping remove gold from circulation. However, a small slice of the tax pie is also used by the game to buy certain items from players and sink them into the void permanently, deleting them from the economy. This keeps high supply items from getting too out of hand and helps prices stay balanced over time. It's very, very smart of them to do this, obviously, right? They're removing a bunch of gold from the game, and then also they're using some of that money to buy maybe some expensive items and just delete them out of the game, so they're gone from the economy and they kind of stay at their price, right? So in this update, we've refined the item sync system farther. So they've added burning claws to the sync list, increased sync rates for several high impact items, including the Fang, the Lightbearer, the Arcane Prayer Scroll, the Dex. These two prayer scrolls have dropped like crazy. Dragon Hunter Lance and the Dragon Pickaxe. I think the Dragon Pickaxe is like 700k now. Used to be what, 6-7 mil. Meanwhile, these items are now a little less likely to be sunk, so Spectral, Arcane, and Code I want. Okay, they're pretty rare anyways, right? And finally, after reviewing item performance and value over time, we've removed the following items from the sync list entirely. So Sarah Sword, Warrior Ring, Seer's Ring. I feel like there's nothing they can do with some of these rings, you know? Bando's Boots, the Cudgel, the Hydra Claw. It's funny, the Hydra Claw, right? But then they've added the Lance. I guess I don't really know. The Kraken Tentacle, the Trident, the Occult Necklace, Preserve Prayer Scroll, and the Kodai. Okay. So some items on this list might seem too low price to be worth sinking. That's kind of what I was thinking, right? Like, what's the point in getting rid of something like, oh, the Occult Necklace is already fucked. You know what I mean? It's one of those, the Bando's Boots, they're not going to go up. Yeah, I definitely agree with them in this case. So in most cases, the real issue is the sheer volume of these items entering the game. We think the GP is better directed toward other more effective syncs. I agree with you guys. So you'll still pay tax when trading these items, but the game won't be scooping them up and deleting them anymore. We hope these changes will let us focus your taxes on the items that are most heavily in need of an item sync, while still removing plenty of gold from the game overall. I'd love to see them actually doing this. Maybe they do have a stream or something where they delete the items. It'd be so cool to watch. So we've also got some low value and early game utility items fully exempt from the Grand Exchange tax. This includes things like low tier food, energy potions, teleport tablets, early game ammo, and mind runes. These items are useful for newer and lower level players, and taxing them didn't really sink much gold, but it did make the early game just a little less friendly, so we cleaned that up. Yeah, that's not a bad thing at all, right? You're at a lower level account, you're just starting the game, you're buying stuff to do quests, and then you gotta pay tax. Come on, right? They want you to get into the game. So at the end of the day, this This isn't just about numbers, it's about keeping the old school economy healthy, so your GP stays valuable and prices stay fair. We'll be monitoring these changes closely, and as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. I cannot wait to see what the community says about this 1 to 2% tax. I have no idea, but I think there's going to be some riots. Alright, so we're gonna head back over to Yama with some tweaks and fixes. So, they updated the Chasm of Fire contract overhead icon colors for better consistency. So, green for ranged, blue for magic, yellow for special attacks, red for melee, and purple for binding spells. The Chasm of Fire teleport scroll now teleports you in front of the voice of Yama. The Master Scroll box now uses the correct icon for the Chasm Teleport scroll. Elite clues are now more common, dropping at a rate of 1 in 30 instead of 1 in 66. That's pretty big. In the case that you don't receive a contract upon killing a demon with the eligible style, you'll get a second ash drop to let you know you're killing them correctly. Oh, that's actually nice as well. Fixed a bug where the dragon and burning claws were not guaranteeing their second hit splat from the soul flame horn. The Phoenix necklace proc will no longer remove a soul flame horn buff. The dossier no longer mentions the lockbox when opening it. The collection log now displays the correct dossier icon. Surge potions now have a 6-tick delay when used in PvP areas. The special attack energy will not restore if a player has moved more than 15 tiles away. Additionally, the potion cannot be used if you're already at 100% special attack energy, so there's no boosting it up, right? So the diabolical worms can now be stored in the tackle box. Crushing Infernal Shale now guarantees fair returns. You can still get multiple crashed Infernal Shales per Infernal Shale chiseled, but you're guaranteed to get at least as many as you crushed. Fixed a bug where players could use the wet cloth to bypass the mining requirement of Infernal Shale. I saw a video on that actually, which is very funny. Yeah, the Infernal Pickaxe no longer processes Infernal Shale. Increased the buy limit of Yama contracts from the Grand Exchange to 50 from 5. Wow, okay, that's pretty big. So the Purging Staff special attack now counts towards contract of Glyphic Attenuation. Scared extracts now work as expected with Ether runes when using Dayalt Essence. So added an empty option to the Barrel of Demonic Towel, so it can be emptied from the inventory with the bank interface open. You can no longer use an imp box on Jim to smuggle the rag out. I really wish you could take the rag out. It would make the game a lot, tick manipulation anyways, a lot easier and better, but I guess that's a bit overpowered. Fixed a bug where the screen fading to black had a permanent duration if you entered as your friend left. The Oathplate armor set now has the correct icon in the Grand Exchange. Oathplate shards now appear in the Yama collection log entry. Removed the Dragon Chain Body from the Yama collection log. The player cost of Worm, Catalyst, and Shard contracts now better reflects the value of their rewards. And removed the agility shortcut icons from the bottom floor of the Chasm of Fire. So plus some hot fixes from last week. So rebalance the dossier rewards. So teleport scrolls now appear less frequently and in higher quantities. Increase the drop rate of Radiant contracts and reduce the rate of Horn and Oathplate contracts. Void Flares now apply special on hit effects correctly. fixed an issue where staff special attacks would consume special attack energy even if you were out of range. That is crazy. It's a good thing that they, fixed it. So since last Friday's hotfix adventure, we've made some significant changes to contracts based on your feedback. First up, Yama will no longer have increased HP on any contract except for the contract of Bloodied Blows and the contract of Glyphnic Attenuation. Is that how you say that? Yama's HP is slightly reduced on both of the contracts too. So the first one here, Yama's HP is increased by 20% down from 40%. And this one increased by 15% down from 25%. So it looks like they're making it slightly easier. Oh, there's also a little bit about the player support. So we're checking in and we'd love your input. So at the end of last year, we asked for your thoughts on Jagex player support, what was working and what wasn't, and where you wanted to see improvements. How did that go? So your feedback in December's survey was incredibly valuable and directly shaped the player support roadmap we shared in April for both Runescape and old school Runescape. Now we're back with a follow-up survey to see how we're doing. What are your thoughts on the roadmap? Have the changes we've made improved your experience? And are there still areas we need to focus on? Whether you've recently interacted with player support or simply have suggestions, we want to hear from you. So the survey will be live from the 29th of May today all the way to June 5th, and you can complete it here. So this is the first in a series of regular check-ins and only takes a few minutes to complete. So yeah, I'd highly recommend doing this, and I'm happy with the player support as of right now as well. And some merch updates. You can now buy the TOA soundtrack. That's interesting. And it looks like there is another RuneScape book. That's pretty cool. And some more merch. And finally, other changes. This one's pretty big as well. So burning logs at a bonfire now offers the same XP as traditional fire making. Finally, they put this into the game. So they're still going to be slower than manually lighting, but it's just better. No one's going to want to manually light unless you're like going for max XP or whatever, right? Players entering through the Gothic's portal at Castle Wars will now be randomly assigned a team at the start of each game. Leaving and rejoining the waiting room won't change your team. Your assignment only resets when a new game begins. Dragon Claws have regained their second hit passing logic. Oh yeah, I think we already heard about that. Players can no longer smuggle non-combat items into Soul Wars. The Master Scrollbook now uses the correct icons for the Colossal Worm teleport. We've identified pure accounts whose defense level was bumped up from level 1 to 2 due to the last week's bug and caused ranged weapons to grant incorrect type of combat XP. Their defense has now been restored to 1. Oh, that is so good. Imagine you spent like 2 years working on the account and then it's just 2 defense. Sorry, guys. Well, lots of good changes, of course. It's nice to see that the Yama combat achievements are already in the game as well. And yeah, I still haven't even killed Yama yet. I need to upgrade my gear. We did get the 1 staff though. We got the Emberlight, but yeah, we should probably get the Purging staff too, so we can at least try the boss out. But yeah, I'm happy with the changes. The Grand Exchange tax, it kind of sucks, but it is one of those things that is definitely needed. I would love to hear your guys' opinion about this down in the comments below. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.